You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Man, I watched a whole 20-minute documentary about a pamphlet this guy read outside of a Denny's. Told me all about climate change ain't real.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way we're bringing it back in, baby. We are back, and welcome to this week's episode of the Couch Brotato. Chris is back in full form.
Yep, all caffeinated up. Ready to stop at a Panera, get my infusion.
Yeah, baby.
I'm getting tired of hearing all these articles about these weak people dying from fucking drinking lemonade.
Well, okay. So before we get too deep into that, you've also brought someone along with you.
I have brought my cousin, Robert.
Yo.
One of the only cousins I like.
Yeah.
Out of the plethora of other ones I'm much older than.
Well, I was going to say, you've got like a rather large family, and I've met like maybe 3 of your relatives.
Good, because you're never going to meet the rest, because I don't talk to them.
I've met...
You met Charlotte, and
yep.
You've met Ella, his sisters. Those are his sisters.
And I think I'm the best looking out of all of them. So.
For a guy, yeah.
We got to make you the front of the network now.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, he's surprised. His mom drove down. The whole family drove down and surprised and hit me up on a, like his mom, my aunt, loves to do. Just, hey, we're here.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Well, fuck. Let me just call off work real quick and just hang out.
That's very my mom energy.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we always hang out when we go up there.
Yeah.
You're going through Brad's because they're not far from Brad. Shout out to the Rim.
Excellent. So yeah, it's going to be, and from just a little bit of talking before the show, you were definitely knowledgeable on all our Couch Brotato topics and everything else. And something he mentioned earlier, and something you brought up too, is you run D&D campaigns.
Yes, I do. Every Tuesday on my Twitch channel. Yeah.
And what is that Twitch channel?
It is called Cracked DM.
Excellent. So yeah, info like that will also be in the episode description. No worries on that. So
check that shit out.
Check it out. And yeah, here we are. We're finally back together. It's post Christmas. It's going to be one of the last episodes recorded before the new year. So
we're full in Kwanzaa mood.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yes, and happy early New Year and all that shit. How was everyone's Christmas?
Not bad, pretty solid. Yeah. I slept through Christmas Eve and Christmas, so I felt pretty good.
Well, that's usually the best way to do it.
Yeah, I just crashed out the whole fucking time. I didn't do a goddamn thing.
Well, yeah, Christmas Eve went over to the folks, and then Christmas Day I worked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People got to get their Nick fit.
And no one fucking did. No one was fucking interested.
Like everybody else.
Bro, okay. Personal gripe, and this isn't just my shop, this is anywhere. If you call a place and they answer, don't ask the question, are you open?
Oh, I get that all the time where I work. Yeah,
that is
every single time.
Look, if we're answering, unless it's in the middle of the fucking night when there's a chance we're going to be closing up. No, not like at 11 in the afternoon. If it's 11 in the afternoon and they answer, don't ask if they're fucking open, because they wouldn't be answering the goddamn phone if they fucking weren't.
I just call me like, y'all closing early today, or what are y'all doing?
That is valid. I have got you all day on that. That is a question you've actually thought through. You used your brain before you picked up that fucking phone.
Y'all need one of them inflatable tube men to be outside. That way it lets everybody know you're open.
I feel like we need that for Uptown, even though that location is like, it's not hard to find. We've got like 6 fucking signs outside with our logo on it. I will still get phone calls at that location. Where are you guys at? We're at the corner of blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that near the Chinese place?
No, it's where that guy died.
No, it's like a block up from that. So if you're standing there and you look, the opposite direction, you'll probably see a sign for our location. Oh, I'll just look around. Spoiler alert, I never see anyone come in after that.
They got lost.
They'll all be there in 5 minutes and then just never show up.
Never fucking show up. So yeah, it's a personal fucking gripe of the year. If you call a place and they answer, just pivot and ask a different question. Just say, how late are you open till?
Y'all sell packs of Winstons?
Yeah, pivot something. So how was your Christmas, bud?
It was pretty good. I mean, I worked Christmas Eve, and just like you were saying, like nobody really showed up because they probably assumed I was closed. It was Sunday night, and
why would you be open?
Yeah, well, I work for like a cash for gold place, so I was really expecting to see a lot of those last minute, like I got to get my fix kind of people. Because that's a 90% of the people that I serve there,
Yeah. No, and I have a feeling my boss was also thinking the same thing. Like, oh, we're going to be one of the few places in each neighborhood, because we've got 4 locations. Mm-hmm. We're going to be one of the few open, if someone needs to get their nicotine fix or their deltas or, whatever else, we'll be the spot. Yeah, no.
Because the Sheets and QT is probably fucking open.
Well, honestly, I mean, QT and Sheets doesn't have shit,
but they have cigarettes.
Yes. And you're looking for any excuse to step the fuck outside, especially in this, as we were mentioning a minute ago, 60-degree weather we've been having in North Carolina.
The future is awesome and terrifying.
The future sucks, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm living my best life.
Nah, and with that, were you guys really in the Christmas spirit this year?
I was a little bit. I didn't buy anything because this is the first year I decided not to, really splurge, except for maybe one person, but that was it.
Yeah.
But I like, even the word splurge is a over exaggeration. I'm just like, I know they need this, so I'm going to get them this. I only had one weird altercation in a store. It was a bookstore that I was buying some books for somebody.
An altercation?
No, a weird altercation. It was like a fight. It was just a weird, like, hey, I'm buying a specific kind of book that you wouldn't picture someone like me buying. And I was just like...
Women's empowerment?
Pretty much close. Very close. I was in a romance section of a fucking...
so you were buying a horror book?
Yeah, I was buying a smut book. And I'm like, hey, I'm buying a book for a friend. And they're like, okay, what kind of stuff they like? I just said adult. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, something to get that that engine revved. You know what I'm saying?
Is that exactly how you worded it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And like, this girl who looked like just a young librarian-looking girl, cute glasses and everything, with like the knit scarf and shit. I'm just like, that girl, you know.
Turned every shade of red.
And she's just like, well, we have this and this. I'm like, do you have the author, this, and this? She's like, no, but I can look it up. And she goes through her computer, types in, and she's like, we don't have that author, but these are the closest ones to it. I'm like, well, I hope you're fucking right. And I just grabbed 2 books off the shelf and just like, all right, that'll be $30, I guess. Fucking
God damn.
But that was my height of Christmas shopping, next to going into Walmart and me mugging a guy in a wheelchair.
I actually didn't do any,
because I was waiting for him to ask for the receipt, because I was just going to fucking moonwalk past that motherfucker, I swear to God.
I didn't do any in-person Christmas shopping this year.
Yeah. It's all Amazon, man.
Yeah.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah,
Amazon, man. Etsy.
Yeah.
Etsy, oh man, my sister loves Etsy.
I mean, you find some good stuff on there, and you're always trying to think of something special or unique, and there you are, supporting an independent artist, and you're getting something special and
you're
unique,
also an independent artist, so you
feels like I'm paying it forward to a point.
But it's also like you're gonna, because you're going hard with the whole Misfits thing.
Yeah.
Pushing that content, you're pushing the shirts and stuff, so you know exactly what you're looking for as opposed to what you're making.
Yep. So
it's hard, man. It's hard. Like you want to help the like littler person, but at the end of the day, it's like Amazon's got every goddamn thing. It's just like I want it now though. Like I want to touch it.
Yeah. I want it right here, right now.
I wait for Amazon just to build a store, just like a knife, like twist it.
Well, it's like, and they'll get you too, because it's like you'll see the thing and it's like Prime 1-day delivery, and you're like, oh yay, I can get it like fucking later tonight if I order it in the next like 2 hours. Yay!
The last 5 things I've ordered for Amazon, I got same day.
So but this is how they get you though. You add it to the cart, then you go to check out, and they're like, psst, by the way, this is Prime. However, if you did want it tonight, you gotta add like 10 more bucks to your cart. It's like, fuck.
That's got USB cables, motherfucker.
Well, yeah, and then you're going through looking, being like, what stupid bullshit. And then you realize the amount of money you've added to the cart to get the same day delivery, you could have spent like the extra $2 and just still gotten it that day. So they're getting you to spend more money with the carrot of that free delivery because it bites us in the ass so much. Even to pay $2.99 for shipping, we don't want to do that. But we'll add an extra $10 to our cart.
That's good. But you're getting something tangible.
That's the point. It's like you're getting an extra thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the shitty version of inflation. It's just like recently, I used to say like there's only a handful of things you need to buy name brand: toilet paper, ketchup, and Tylenol. That's it. Everything else you can buy secondhand from like store bought. I've added a new one: fucking bread. All right, because let me tell you something about buying bread. This is gonna sound like an old man talking, but Food Line bread sucks. It tastes like a fucking rock.
Yeah.
I bought Merita. We haven't had Merita since the goddamn 90s. And that is the best goddamn bread you can buy. And it was only $1 more. And I was like, take the goddamn $1. I don't even give a shit no more.
And that's what people get. Well, see, I add one extra to that list. And they kind of go hand in hand, mainly because I don't buy either on a regular basis. But electronics and clothing. I put those two in there as well.
Those are... Well, for me personally, those are those things I was like, I'll buy once a year.
And that's the reason I say it's like I don't buy it often. However, when I do, I'm probably leaning toward a Samsung or an Apple, depending on the scenario. But it's like once I get that thing, it's like cool. I'm not getting another one of these things for another like 5 years.
I just think of stuff like if you're going grocery shopping, name brand things are now 4 things.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean,
never buy off-brand ketchup. It's disgusting. Shame on whoever. It's a fruit puree. That's what it is.
They put in like way too much sugar or whatever.
Or no salt. Or you get one of those. Oh, this one has no preservative. That's what I want to taste.
Yeah.
That's what tastes good. Fuck you. Heinz made 57 goddamn sauces, all on preservatives. You dumb motherfucker. I don't want your Food Line grocery tiger bullshit.
Wait, so Heinz 57 was the amount of recipes? That wasn't the amount
Heinz
of ingredients?
Heinz 57 is the 57th sauce they ever made. And that's the last one they made.
I thought that was the amount of ingredients.
No. It's 56 sauces total in Heinz, and then they made the 57th sauce. And that was their specialty sauce. And that was like a running joke. And everybody's like, well, what are we going to call it? I'm like, let's call it 57. We ain't making any more, bitch.
We made 50-7. We should have stopped at fucking 50.
Yeah, but like the Heinz company is like a conglomerate of food products. So like it's weird.
It's like Kraft Heinz now. You know, they got
Kraft
the
now,
cheese. They got. Yeah, that's the only one I remember is the
That's
cheese.
the company that started with nothing but baked beans. That was it. They started doing canned baked beans, and then they fucking started making every brand of ketchup, every brand of fucking mustard.
Well, I mean, I still believe if you strive to be any company, you should strive to be Bic.
Oh yeah,
them motherfuckers will slap their logo on anything: lighters, razors, pins.
Yeah, like I've never had a Bic pen fail. I've never had a lighter fail.
And that's the thing is those 3 I listed are completely different things. It's not like Bic made lighters and then other smoking accessories, or like pens and then really nice pencils and then notepads and shit.
Well, Bic is a short name, Buyers Ink Company.
Well, okay, but all 3 of those things are...
They started with pens.
Yeah, but I'm just like, a writing utensil, a shaving apparatus, and a fire starter. Those are 3 very different things.
Those are all manly things.
Bic for men.
Bic for men.
Well, I don't know.
It's Mr. Bic.
Lady smoking her cigarette, shaving her cooch.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Oh, you want the woolly bullies.
It sounded like Marcus Parks. Grow some bush, ladies.
Miss Squatch, hello.
But no, you're right.
Run through the jungle.
Yeah, now Bic's one of those magnanimous companies that just make a shit ton of little things that you're just like, God, I really need that. I'm just waiting. It's basically like Disney. Disney just started off making fucking cartoons, and then it's like now they own and conglomerate of fucking media that we all watch.
Everything.
They're getting there. When they killed the other Warner brother, that's when it's over.
That's what you're waiting on.
I'm waiting, goddammit. I'm waiting for Amazon to get off their fucking ass and, first of all, kick Netflix in the goddamn dick. Because one thing I've noticed about Netflix, you can play games on Netflix.
Yes, through the app.
And
phone app specifically. Grand
Theft Auto is on there. And not just any Grand Theft Auto, 3 and Vice City. the ones that put Grand Theft Auto on the goddamn map. And I'm thinking, oh my God, we have now just transcended the streaming service industry, and now we're going back to that stupid game streaming company. Remember when Netflix is like, you can get any movie, it's by mail, and then there was that other game company,
Gamefly.
like,
Yeah, Gamefly.
and they're just like, we are going to kick that one in the dick too.
Fuck you, Gamefly. More like Nat.
But like that, this Netflix.
Does GameFly still exist?
No,
they killed it in the
think.
back alley of a 7-Eleven. They garroted it. They used a garrote on it.
Trying to fly with your games now, motherfucker.
Say it again.
Gamefly.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
But
See where it went. It's okay. So according to Wikipedia, it's still active.
So it's Blockbuster.
Interesting.
In Alaska.
Well, yeah, so is Blockbuster.
In
but
Alaska.
let's see. Looks like one of the last things that happened. I'm just doing like a quick skim over the thing.
Because Xbox really kicked the shit out of all of them with
Game Pass and shit like that. Yeah.
Well, the newest Game Pass of the last two Xboxes, the Xbox Series 1X and the newest Xbox. I don't know what it's called, but the Game Pass on Microsoft has provided for minimal amount of money is ridiculously big.
Oh yeah.
The library is so goddamn massive. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have to leave your house.
Yeah. I pay $10 a month. All the newest releases, got them right there.
And then you can hold on to them as long as you download them to the console.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo tried that same shit, but their media library isn't there yet.
Well, so this is what Wikipedia says about GameFly. It says business model of GameFly similar to DVD by mail subscription service Netflix and Blockbuster. In 2009, GameFly sued the post office alleging the favoritism of Netflix and Blockbuster by sorting their DVDs at no charge. And then in May 2018, EA announced that they acquired cloud gaming technology assets and personnel from GameFly. And GameFly is currently owned by the same ownership group as Alliance Entertainment and is operated as a standalone company. GameFly shut down shut down their streaming offers in August 21st, 2018. Then I want to go to their website. They're still offering the by mail service, and they also offer like a regular store. Like they offer games, controllers, consoles, and then like Funko, Lego, Mattel.
So they're like a
that.
GameStop by mail.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. But not like the
But without all the Redditors.
yeah, but like streaming convenience has just annihilated it.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on over to our news segment, because I have a feeling that's going to take up the majority of our conversation today, because folks that are looking at the stream went, holy fuck, they were like hitting it hard with the fucking Halloween content and then just fucking peered.
You see, we eat on Thanksgiving.
And we work
Every day till Kwanzaa.
So now that Chris is no longer part of his Dungeness work, let's catch up on some news in the news segment. Holy crap, I did that all in one breath. Yeah. Well, one of the things y'all, I was semi-tuning you guys out, so if you were mentioning this as I was looking up GameFly stuff, I apologize. Were you guys talking about Sony removing their purchased games from users' libraries?
No, that
I think that was Ubisoft.
Ubisoft,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they're going the Netflix route of removing bought content that you can no longer access, which has kind of opened the door through ethical piracy.
Yeah.
Because we all grew up in the age of you buy it, you own it. That period. That's the name of the game. You buy it, you own it. Now, you buy it, you temporarily have control over it. So, y'all can kiss my ass. I'm just going to pirate it. Like, you basically open the door ethically for piracy. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I know as of 2024, the production of Blu-rays is going to go downhill very quickly because of all the streaming services and access to like massive libraries. So there's actually a big kind of bust on, all right, so are people going to start hoarding Blu-rays because it's an actual physical copy of something that you want to watch that can't be taken off streaming at any fucking moment. A lot of people have kind of bypass this with apps like Vudu and stuff like that. When you buy the Blu-ray, you can add it to your Vudu library and have it permanently. But the only thing is now you have to worry about a giant cloud of information not collapsing.
Well, so when you were talking about that, I looked it up. Yeah, there was a Ubisoft thing that happened like back in like June, July, and they've backstepped and went, hey, okay, sorry guys, we're not gonna look, chill. Yeah. We're not gonna remove any of the fucking games. However, I knew I wasn't fucking crazy.
No, it was Sony.
Right here, Escapist Magazine, first one that comes up. PlayStation is removing a ton of Discovery content from your library, and this was posted on December 4th. Due to probably something we'll be talking about a little bit later on, select Discovery content is going to be removed from the PlayStation Marketplace and your library.
Yeah.
Even if you have purchased it. So if you have purchased stuff like Survivor Man, Mythbusters, Deadliest Catch, and other shows like that through your PlayStation, you have spent money on this. This wasn't a temporary lease. This wasn't, a temporary purchase or a rental. You spent $20 on the fucking episode. You own it. Now they're about to take it away.
Yeah. That's opening the door to piracy.
100%. It's like I have been the biggest rah supporter of streaming shit, especially like Spotify. A musician, okay, a struggling independent musician is sitting here going rah pro Spotify. I hear all the arguments, it's taking away money from this. Bro, there's been no money in the music business since the fucking early 2000s. It didn't start with fucking Spotify. The music is just a background to sell the t-shirts and the fucking posters and everything else. It's the background to the rest of it. We all understand this. I understand it. The music draws people in so they can buy a t-shirt. That's the way it's been ever since I started the band. Why am I going to be mad at Spotify for putting me on the largest internet jukebox available, mixing me in with my favorite artists and my contemporaries? I'm not going to bitch. All of a sudden, I look at this and I go, all right, give me my CDs, give me my vinyl records, give me the rest of this shit, because I don't like how easily it is for you to be able to purchase something and it be taken away. Yeah. I understand through Spotify, this is a library card. I'm paying a monthly fee and they're allowing me access. I quit paying that fee and they go, hey buddy, you can't listen to this anymore. That's an understood exchange we have. If I purchase something, I don't think that, the producer of a movie is allowed to come knock on my door and go, hey man,
can I have that back?
We made a new deal with a new distribution house, so that DVD you have on your shelf, I need that back. You can repurchase this in a couple months through that new distributor.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. I already paid for this.
Yeah.
Now they're wanting to implement that because they can on a digital scale.
Yeah.
Arg me mateys.
we talked about it a few months ago, actually, about Netflix removing original content. Netflix had removed a few original shows from the service that Netflix had made, which you would think they would have garnered some storage space to continue it being streamed. No, they decided to remove it.
Well, I have a feeling they probably removed that for the same reason we were talking about right before our break. HBO and stuff and Warner Brothers shelving so many movies so they could get that tax write-off.
Yeah, because
if people weren't
cancel.
Yeah, so if people weren't streaming the show, we don't know how the business works on all that back end, but I would be shocked if there wasn't some sort of you removed it within a certain time frame, proving a non-return on streams, a loss. Thank you. And them getting some sort of tax write-off because it's no longer available.
That's what happened to a lot of late-stage Hanna-Barbera stuff, actually. TBS, Turner ended up selling a lot of his content to another company. I believe it was Warner Brothers. And that's why you never see SWAT Cats, Captain Planet, any of those late-stage Hanna-Barbera cartoons that we grew up when we were real young, those badass fucking violent cartoons, aren't on streaming. That's why they're not there, because that company, when it bought Turner, decided to shelve those and count those as a loss. I kind of went down deep dive on SWAT Cats because that was like my show. I was just like, it's a metal fucking show about two guys in an F-22 Raptor kicking ass, and the backdrop is metal music playing in the background every fucking cutscene.
Hell yeah.
And why the fuck can I not watch it? And I went down a deep dive and I found out that somebody who bought Turner's, backstock shelved it and will never release it. You have to find it on DVD, and you still can. Like, it's a little expensive because it's that.
Arg me, mateys.
Sorry
to interrupt, but like that's something that I've been seeing a lot more of it, like with specifically pirating streaming services and things like ad block, right? With YouTube recently, how they've been fighting people with ad block, wanting them to buy premium, but it's like, you got to make the premium worth it for me to buy.
But it's not YouTube making it worth the buy. It's the content creators. And
well, I think what he's meaning is like through YouTube Premium, though, the only thing they're really offering you, because I have it, the only thing they're really offering is ad-free streaming. And then the reason I still have it is the fact that I can play a video and then lock my phone. And it still plays.
Right.
That's the only added benefit, but they're not providing me with any extra content.
no.
Yeah, and they used to too is the thing. There were YouTube originals. Like I remember this one called Wayne.
Yeah, I
about
remember
this
Wayne.
like high school kid just beating the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
Like just
Well, they
like
had
10, 12 episodes of that.
They
like,
did that, and they collabed with actual early creators to create a YouTube exclusive video. Remember the song "Internet People"?
Yeah.
Internet people, we love you. And like that was like two creators in YouTube coming together, and that was the funniest goddamn song for like 2 years.
Well, on that exact note, a lot of people forget that one of the biggest shows for a minute started as a YouTube original, and then Netflix bought it. You remember what that was?
No.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Holy shit.
That started as a
show that's
YouTube original.
Too dumb to be good.
And guess what? No one fucking watched it on YouTube, and that's why Netflix bought it, because all of a sudden they had like 2 seasons under their belt under YouTube, and then Netflix picked it up for the 3rd season because YouTube was just going to cancel it. And then they purchased all the rights, it went up, and then that's when everyone started talking about it, and the t-shirts, and it blew the fuck up.
YouTube is probably the most unique streaming service of all of them because it's all relied on new creators. And then you got, let's say you like Chris James. Let's say you like Chris James and you like Scott the Woz. You would lose your shit if they did a collab video.
Oh yeah.
That'd be like just them bullshit and talk about Game Boy, and Chris James would be like, "This is fucking lame," and leaves. But like, that would be a fun because you can. It's basically picking and choosing who you want to see collab with other people you want to see, and you couldn't do that on cable. You're never going to see fucking some sportscaster from fucking NBC go to Fox or some shit. You're never going to see a crossover between a Fox show and an ABC show. That would be dumb.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I feel like with premium, other than the benefit of ad free
yeah.
and then being able to turn off my phone or turn off the screen of my phone and still listen, those are the only 2 real benefits. But if I have an ad blocker, I can just turn off the ad block on a creator I want to support anyway, right? And then with piracy, like Netflix, even on like on my computer at home, I've got a 4K monitor, and Netflix claims they stream in 4K, but they don't. Only 1080p.
Did you see that guy's video recently about that?
On the TV. I forget what his name is.
Yep.
But yeah,
he started a whole series right now talking about ethical piracy, and he was talking about, he's like, I pay the highest tier service on Netflix. He goes, I have the 4K, no ads, this, that, and the other.
I caught that this morning actually. I bought the new 4K Roku. Because I have a 4K television, and then Netflix sends me a fucking message after I sign in on this new device. They're like, "Hey, for $750 added, we can up it to 4K." And they showed me a picture of Stranger Things and HD, and they said UHD, the new 4K.
Yeah.
I didn't really see a difference because it's a picture and it wasn't fucking moving. So no, that's a big no for me. And then I go to Paramount that doesn't offer 4K. But I went to HBO that does, and it kind of just looks the fucking same.
Yep.
Okay, so
with 4K when it comes to video, right? Like your eyes don't see in 4K, right? Like they're seeing it as it is. The higher resolution is useless without that like post-production added in. Or like things the TV can do, like high dynamic range, like make the color depth, like those are the things that sell it. Just something being 4K, Like, it can still look like shit.
Yeah, the big, you hit the nail on the head. The big thing for us as end users for 4K is color depth. Because if I'm doing like an actual music video shoot, I'll shoot in 4K, even if I'm exporting it as a 1080p for YouTube, because that's all our fucking phones and social media can view anyway. However, I shoot in 4K. That way I've got a much broader range of color I can pull out and kind of fix. Yeah, outside of that though, 4K has to be one of the biggest technology scams when it comes to like getting people to upgrade to a 4K system. It's like, it's cool, it's nice, but like you're not getting that much more from 1080p.
Yeah, the only useful use of 4K I've seen is on things like video games where those textures are already downscaled.
Bingo.
So when they upscale, like they actually look better that way.
Bingo.
And
100%.
For the next generation, that's going to be very useful because all the games are going to be made for that. But for someone my age, I don't need 4K Super Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need that. I could play that on a CRT in the garage as long as I hit it hard enough and it works. Concussive maintenance will keep it working forever. But you know what I'm saying? Like it is a niche thing. I think there is going to be more broader uses for it in the future, but we're not going to see it for much. We're at the fucking mountaintop, guys, when it comes to goddamn entertainment for right now. We're this close to going back outside and beating the shit out of each other for realism, okay? Touching grass and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Well, we were trying to get that though on the
12.
Netflix.
What's that? Bam!
Well, what we're talking about on the Netflix thing is like, so even if you pay for that service, unless you have exactly what Netflix wants you to have, you're not going to be able to stream it in 4K. You can only get it almost in like in 720. Like you can't even
Unless
get it in
a
full 1080.
A 4K display device, a fucking TV that's 4K.
No, he had all that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the exact one Netflix wanted him to have.
And it's
that
a
was the
scam.
problem.
It's a scam.
All it is. But something we talked about a minute ago, I pulled up some info because literally some updates on it today. Warner Bros. Discovery Paramount merger. Wall Street has major doubts about the deal.
Good.
So this is a
Fuck corporations.
fuck them.
No, I want them all separately killed. One by fucking one. I want just Amazon and Disney just to sneak up behind them and put them in like a rear naked choke until Discovery bleeds out content, and so I could watch Mythbusters, all of it, and not just one goddamn season on Hulu. Okay. It's goddamn infuriating. That is fucking infuriating. My dad had told me he's like he found an episode of, because I still pay for cable like an asshole because my parents fucking watch cable. They watch that. I haven't watched cable forever. There's nothing on there, and the ads, I will say, have gotten a lot shittier.
Oh yeah.
You would think with the quality of time, the quality of ads would have been funnier. We hit that one good spot.
No, we hit the peak of good ads in the mid 2000s.
Yes, you would think that would have kept going, but no, it's just shit.
I think ads need to go like the ironic angle. You know,
Yeah.
I really fucking hate this thing. Buy it.
Yeah.
I think that would be like perfect.
Just
Honestly,
hate fuck your fucking.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look what I got. Look, I like it.
Honestly, I would fucking love it if like the next commercial I see is this guy walks up to a table, sits down, pulls out an ice cold Coca-Cola, cracks it open, pours it into a glass, sets it down, looks straight down the barrel of the camera and goes, "What do you want me to say? You're gonna fucking buy it anyway."
Yeah,
Takes
right?
a sip, sets it down, and then the logo slowly fades over him.
The one ad I want to see is a root beer ad. You've never fucking seen one, have you?
Right.
Ever. When was the last time you saw A&W advertised? Barks. Mugs. None of them. Mugs pulls out an ad. All they have to do is pop a can. It's like, this one has caffeine in it. Done.
Well, no one fucking advertises it because no one likes shitty ass root beer.
But it's the top 3 selling root beer companies of all time.
Well, it's not that hard.
It's not.
When there's only 3 and no one fucking buys the shit anyway. What's the Family Guy joke? Yeah. Robot Chicken doubled their viewership with their Star Wars episodes. Yeah, but what's the double of 2? 4?
And all 4 of them are that guy right there.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like Sunkiss. You never see an ad for Sunkiss. There used to be 7-Up ads. You don't see any fucking 7-Up ads
You
anymore.
don't see any ads for Fanta, but I remember those. Fanta,
That's because-
Fanta, don't you wanna, Fanta?
That's because everybody
I
found
remember that shit all day long, bro.
Yeah, because it's Nazi-made Coca-Cola. Because someone on the internet went online, hey, I found this old Fanta ad. It's an SS officer drinking orange Fanta. What the fuck, Fanta?
And ever since, Chris has not been able to let it go.
It's Nazi Coca-Cola. That's why I don't wear Hugo Boss, not because I can't afford it, and I don't wear Chanel either.
Hold on, no, there's
I don't drive a Porsche.
I don't drive a Jaguar, and I don't wear fucking Pumas.
No, there it is. I was gonna say there's a few others on your list I've heard throughout the years.
Oh, what are you talking about? The companies that sponsored the Nazi?
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime you finally hear just like
Nazis. You like
Volkswagen, you're next.
You're next, yeah. The People's Wagon, yeah. Fucking Nazis.
So yeah, according to the Hollywood Reporter, though, during a meeting with CEO Bob Babkish,
Bob Brokish.
yeah, really, that was for Paramount Global. They were basically saying we have a hard time seeing the deal and equating it to catching a falling knife or even a financial death sentence. Yeah. So, yeah, doesn't seem like it's gonna work. What was the merger that was supposed to happen earlier this year, but the government shut it the fuck down?
Was it?
It felt like Alice had to do a fucking Warner Brothers.
It was a monopoly takedown. Fuck, I forget. It was Amazon and somebody, wasn't it? Had to be.
Excuse me. What if was it?
It's almost as if there's a computer right in front of me. I could
Was
fucking
it
look it up.
Activision Blizzard maybe? But I think that was UK that stopped that, not us.
Yeah. Yeah, overseas monopolies are a little bit handled differently.
Yeah, there is a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I didn't save that one. That was something we already talked about anyway. But no, it feels like there's been quite a few times folks have tried to get together to monopolize, and they get like, nope,
No,
not happening.
Well, that's how we have like our own, like on the Eastern Seaboard at least, why we have so many different power companies, because there used to be just one.
Well, on the Couch Potatoes, we don't only just talk about news and pop culture. We talk about our games as well, and we even have full gaming specials. And Rockstar, finally, after all this time, has released the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Vice City Returns.
That's right, baby.
It's so fun when you talk about like the world of Grand Theft Auto, and there's only 3 goddamn cities. There's San Andreas, Liberty City, and Vice City.
Yep.
That's it. The whole world revolves around New York, Miami, and Los Angeles.
I mean,
yeah. There's never going to be a Grand Theft Auto Cornhuskers, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of Nebraska.
Isn't that like every movie where aliens invade too?
America?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless you're watching Doctor Who.
I'm just waiting for Grand Theft Auto Chicago.
Welcome to Chirac. There's a serial killer running around for some goddamn reason, which is true, folks. There is a serial killer. Stay safe.
Well, there is a bunch of news surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6, but let's go ahead and kick it off. First things first, impressions of the trailer. What do we think?
It looks fascinating. Like, this is the first Grand Theft Auto trailer I've seen where it looks like the story is going to really be the forefront again.
What do you think the story will be?
It'll probably focus on the two. I think her name is Lucia, and her boyfriend / husband. And it's going to focus again back on robbery, like Grand Theft Auto 5. But it's going to be Florida man, motherfucking slam, dude. Like,
yeah,
this is going to be a knockdown drag out of Florida. this is what it's going to be.
Literally Florida, the video game.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm so fucking excited for it.
And I like how they pulled a Tom Petty song for it. They didn't use They didn't use an '80s rock song. They didn't use
Welcome to the jungle.
And that was a cool trailer. That was back in the day. But I'm glad they kind of made it real. Like they took the foot off the gas a little bit and been like, look, guys, we are going to sell a story because we know that's what you want. It worked for Last of Us 2. It worked for Red Dead Redemption 2. It worked for the new Witcher, Cyberpunk. All these.
You think this is going to be a lot more story driven?
It's going to be story driven.
Because the past games have been story-driven, of course, but do you think this is going to be a lot more story-driven?
I think it's going to be a lot more carved out.
Okay.
Because Grand Theft Auto 5, for people who've never played it, you're playing 3 different people. You get 3 different endings, and one person in that group is literally the personification of the average gamer. Mm-hmm. A hedonistic asshole of a person who was morally bankrupt so fucking bad that people loved playing him. And it's the balding white guy, what's his name, Trevor?
Yeah.
Trevor.
Trevor.
His opener was killing a main character from the main game before. in Liberty City.
Yeah.
He literally stomps that guy to death because that's what a gamer would do. It's that Rockstar just said, "Fuck all of you. This is you. You can play as the good guy or the down and trodden guy, but we know you want to play this guy a lot." And they made
that motherfucker.
They had him as the most horrific fucking character in video game history for a
100%.
long time.
I do hope though that
Trevor is a monster of a person.
I do like. I played 5. I've played Red Dead 2. Both fantastic games, but I really hope that they update their gameplay formula for this one because Red Dead 2, like the story was awesome, but every gunfight was just I'm in cover, I lean out, quick time shooter, but like it was so easy. You know what I'm saying?
I think what made Red Dead 2 was the story, because and you can call it a mistake or just a critique. It's a prequel.
Yeah.
You know the guy's not going to make it because he's not in the other game. It's like watching the Star Wars movies and you're like, who's Qui-Gon? Oh, he was in the original Star Wars. I wonder what's going to happen. He fucking dies. Okay, so I wonder what's going to happen. Zip. But like they kind of carved themselves into a hole a little bit. They dug themselves a hole where they're like, I'm going to introduce a very likable character, and the reason you didn't see him is because he died horrifically on the side of a mountain. And then you're going to watch people on YouTube crying while playing it, which is my bread and fucking butter. but going to like just Sony, Spider-Man, the last 2 Spider-Man games, fantastic.
Yeah, because Spider-Man 2 came out within this. We'll mention him, but we'll stay on GTA 6 because we've got a couple different things.
But like GTA 6 is just going to be the next pillar to hit, the next level in storytelling. And dude, they got what, 2 years? They got 2, because they didn't say exactly when in 2025 they're going to hit. So I imagine Christmas time 2025, people are going to be bouncing that fucking credit card off the GameStop desk and being like, I need my fix
here. Well, one of the things I really liked about the trailer was basically what you guys were saying. This is going to be Florida Man, the fucking video game. They use so many references to real life moments. And one of those people is trying to fucking sue.
Fuck him.
So the fucking skull zombie face dude, they basically, all Rockstar did was change his hair from blonde to purple and like change like some of the words he had tattooed on his face. But now that dude is like trying to get a fucking paycheck.
Like a likeness rights or some shit?
Yes, and he's already dyed his hair purple to show even closer likeness and shit. He's just trying to go off the fucking rails. He's not going to get a fucking payday, but I swear to God, you give any of these people a moment to be shown, and they will make an ass of themselves.
So what's fucking crazy? He's trying to sue Grand Theft Auto for likeness rights?
Yes.
I remember...
He's called the Florida Joker.
I remember when PlayStation 2 introduced Vice City. Me and my buddy fucking loved Vice City. But I remember reading in a fucking GameStop magazine, early days, that Paramount, the studio company, was trying to sue Vice City for taking clips from their movies, like Goodfellas.
Yep.
And like gangster films. Because everybody forgets, that's a fucking gangster game that they're taking a lot of fucking prejudice with when it comes to Miami gangsters, like Scarface, Goodfellas, The Godfather. There's a lot of like parts in the original Vice City game that come from gangster movies, but it's a trope. They tried to sue for tropes. If they can't win with that, this dumb motherfucker ain't winning shit. If they offer him a settlement, he needs to fucking take it, just to shut him the fuck up. Because I'm not going to see that girl who's twerking on the car been like, well, that's my ass on the game. No, that's just a person twerking on a car.
So I was looking it up, and like today is like the perfect day for us to do an episode on all these topics, because every time I look up a topic, there's like new updates from like literally between like 6 to 8 hours ago. So according to, let's see, gamingbible.com, don't know how much they can be trusted, but Florida Joker posts final warning to Rockstar Games for GTA 6 likeness.
If he dies in jail, you think they'll put that in the game? Because if I was Rockstar, I got an intern on the side ready to program that in the game as like a DLC.
Oh my god.
Hey, for $1.99, you could watch Skullface get his head bashed in a goddamn prison, or eaten by gators. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so
Go Canes.
So his video apparently is just full of just ranting, and the only thing to really pull from it is he's spoken to his own lawyers who are confident in a case, and that initially his original demands were $2 million. Now they are $3 million, and this is his final warning with his final offer of $5 million.
He's got hope, man. If Casey Anthony can win in Florida, so can he. Way to go, Florida.
If there's one place anything can happen, it is Florida.
Yeah. God's blind spot.
Yep.
See, the writer of the article, Richard Lee, his anecdote at the very bottom says, while I'm sure Sullivan would welcome a tidy fortune for his likeness used under fair use, I'm convinced he's trolling, and if so, fair play. I'd be shocked if Rockstar Games coughed up any cash. After all, if Lindsay Lohan failed, I can't see the Florida Joker having any real success other than gaining clout on his social media channels. That being said, I'm sure that this will not be his last demand. Hopefully, come release, Sullivan will at least be gifted a GTA press kit and a box of Snickers.
I bet they didn't use the word Snickers to begin with.
Well, in context, it wouldn't even make sense, Chris.
Just take the Snickers and run, man.
Just shut the fuck up. You'll be the most popular guy in jail for like a week. Man, this guy don't even got Baby Ruth. He's got Snickers.
But in leading up to that awesome trailer getting released, there was some rumors that there was some pre-release footage getting released on like 4chan, Reddit, and stuff like this. And I actually remember this happening. That was maybe around September. And just looking at it, I was just like, okay, whatever. It just looks like really good game footage. I've seen some really good fan stuff recently too, so this could just be another piece of fan work, whatever. Come to find out, Rockstar and its Grand Theft Auto 6 release was hacked by a teenager using an Amazon stick, a hotel TV, and a mobile phone.
Yeah, so he was being held in a hotel room for transfer. He's recently been sentenced to an indeterminate amount of time in a mental health facility because of this, which gets misconstrued as life. In a mental hospital, which, no, that's an indeterminate amount of time. They haven't figured out how long they want to keep him in there. But holy shit, a goddamn Fire Stick and a cell phone.
Yeah. So this isn't a very long article, and it covers it pretty well. So hang on real quick and skip through this. This is full of really good info. We'll just doing a quick skim. Rockstar Games confirmed that the early development footage has been illegally accessed and downloaded, and later that month, a teenager in Oxfordshire was arrested in relation to the hack. In July, it was confirmed that 18-year-old, I won't say his name, would face 12 offenses, including 6 charges under the Computer Misuse Act, 3 blackmail charges, and 2 counts of fraud, but was deemed unfit to stand trial. Earlier this week, he was sentenced to an, quote, indefinite hospital order, with a judge ruling that his skills and desire to commit cybercrime meant he remained at high risk to the public. Let's see, skip that paragraph, doesn't really matter. He was sentenced alongside a 17-year-old accomplice, with members involved in the $4 million ransom of data stolen from NVIDIA and BT/EE. Jury told that the police protection at the Travelodge Hotel had been hacked by Rockstar. Travelodge Hotel when he hacked Rockstar, and at the time he was on bond for hacking both NVIDIA and BTEE. They confiscated his laptop, and he managed to steal 90 clips of GTA 6 using an Amazon stick, his hotel TV, and a mobile phone. He used Rockstar's internal Slack channel to blackmail the company before sharing the clips and source codes online, and despite his defense lawyer arguing that his success of the GTA launch earlier this year meant that his crimes had little impact, Rockstar claimed that his actions had cost the company more than $5 million and $1,000 worth of labor.
I would love to sit this kid down in a Starbucks with a MacBook and tell him to get rid of pharma debt. Just erase it. Just do that. Fuck,
I know,
fuck stick. You know, all these guys are hacking Sony and all these other companies, and getting your fucking data and shit like that, or getting something off Jeff Bezos' fucking sorry ass or Elon Musk. Just start clicking the delete button on certain public accounts.
I know, it's like
do the world a favor,
because it's like that on like I would do one quick small hack on something just to see if it was successful, and then I'd be like, all right, I know what's up.
Yeah.
First up, MasterCard.
Yeah. I'm having 50 black cards sent to my house, and I'm never leaving my house.
Well, no, it was like going to MasterCard, and I'm just like, debt erase.
Yeah. Control Alt debt free.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. Like Control Alt delete.
Is there a quick key on this goddamn keyboard that gets rid of my search history permanently?
My buddy Chris needs a favor.
Needs a favor.
I think my biggest takeaway is like they're using Slack. Just use Discord. Slack is just work Discord. That's all it is. Just use Discord. Like,
which side note, you can sign up for our Discord. Link is in the episode description.
You're welcome.
You have your own Discord as well.
Yeah, it's linked on my Twitch. Crack DM.
Yep.
Excellent. And something that we were kind of talking about happening for the last little bit, and we should be able to go back and figure out what episode it was where we kind of Nostradamus this into existence, but E3 rather.
E3 is canceled.
E3 is no more.
It was Christmas of last year when we talked about it.
Yep. So about a year ago, we were just like, ooh, they canceled 1 year. If they cancel 1 year, that's probably going to be the end of it.
I remember us talking about it specifically was why have one big event when all other conventions are basically travel conventions, where it's just like, hey, Charlotte has Comic-Con.
Yep. Why
not have a Charlotte Eastern Seaboard in Raleigh at the Durham Center, or why not have it? Why not have a big convention on this Eastern Seaboard, the Western, the Deep South, the North? These are traveling conventions, guys. It's okay.
Yep.
You could have different ones. You can have E3 releases, but it doesn't have to be in fucking San Diego every goddamn time. Yeah, I remember us talking about the Christmas time last year.
And it's kind of sad now. So if you go to e3expo.com, it just reroutes you to this little looping video in the background with just some text that says, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories.
It's better than what I would have put on the fucking website. Would have been a white room with a wheelchair on its side with blood splatter.
You did this.
A miracle did not happen here.
So it's like, even though last year around Christmas time when we discussed this, it felt like that was maybe what was going to happen. When I saw the news of this a few weeks, about a month ago, it still kind of bummed me out, because it felt like for a minute we were about to get this really cool resurgence of video game stuff that we enjoyed growing up. We had the return of G4 TV. E3 was starting to, do some convention stuff again after, COVID was like locked down. It felt like there was this rebirth of like this gaming industry that honestly made me feel excited for it when I was a kid. And then not even a year in, G4 folds once again. And now E3 is completely going away after, a failed to launch last year. So it's just like, it just kind of bums me out a little bit how heading into lockdown and during lockdown, there was all these promises of like this big gaming boom, getting excited over that. And then within a year of lockdown being lifted, the two things I was most excited about are no longer here.
I think to me, it's not a letdown. It's just a changing of the guard. A convention was something that you could go to because you wanted to see it all as much as possible. But when we talked about it last time was, if we go to a convention, me and you most likely would just hang out in the Nintendo area. We don't have an Xbox. I don't have a fucking PlayStation. So like, we would focus on that. For a user experience, I imagine it's a once in a lifetime, hey, let's go on the road and go check it out. You know what I say? Let's hitch a plane and go. But with all these game companies just trying to fight each other over who's going to have the bigger display, when all you have to do is get a Twitch streamer to talk about it for like 30 goddamn minutes. That's all you got to do. And if you get one, you'll get another, and then a fuck another. And what's better than a fucking 1 minute and a half trailer than your favorite streamer on YouTube being like, man, I just got the new Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Let's check it out. And playing it and actually seeing what it fucking looks like. Not some promised cinematic, but what it fucking looks like. As a gamer, I'd watch that every fucking time. If I don't have a PlayStation and I want to see what God of War Ragnarok looks like, I'll watch a guy play it and watch it like a fucking TV series. It's sold to me. So whenever I do get one, I'm going to like, well, I'm going to probably buy it when it's cheap as fuck, but I'm still going to buy it.
No, and that's all very valid.
I think it's just the changing of how it's presented, because like a convention is nowadays is very niche. Unless you are a creator and want to get your voice out there, you could just use social media, or you could go down to the Comic-Con when it comes around once a year. And lockdown kind of fucked it up for everybody, yeah. But if I'm a fucking multi-million-dollar company, I'm just putting money down the goddamn drain, cranking props that I can only show for what's E3, a week?
Oh, not even,
probably like just a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
I can't, just on the money aspect, I cannot afford to do that when I got to make sure my game is ready. And that's another thing. Some of these games just aren't fucking ready.
Yeah.
Because if some asshole put out a fucking Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer and it said 2025 and some dumbass intern put the word September, holy fuck, you just put a 3-month advance and now everybody's busting ass till Labor Day? Way to go, Tim. You fucking idiot.
Steve Jobs this bitch.
God damn it.
Well, so I find it funny, and I have a feeling we'd all really, because we're all pretty similar in age here. I always told myself growing up that I was not going to be that, when I was your age, adult. Because it's like, I always looked at people that's like that and be like, get with the times, old man. You know, it's like the future's now.
I was hip. Yeah. I was cool once.
And I find it funny that for the very first time, it's the video game industry that has me feeling like an old man, shaking my finger at the younger generation. But I don't know what it was. I had this kind of weird epiphany like a few days ago. It's like, our generation, we were bitched at because we didn't go outside and play as much. We are sitting inside playing our Segas or our Nintendos and, inviting our friends over. And then we got a little older and then we were having LAN parties and shit like that. It's like we were getting together with our friends, but unlike our parents who, went outside and, played fucking baseball and played in the dirt, we were shooting each other's heads off and, Call of Duty and shit like that.
Because our parents' friends got kidnapped and murdered and molested.
But then, as time has gone on, so many systems now don't really even have a multiplayer mode. So many games don't have a multiplayer. Nintendo, of course, does, because they still promote themselves as, the family entertainment system. But think about how many big titles are single-player games with online connectivity. Kids aren't getting together in a room to play video games with each other anymore. There is even more of a disconnect now. However, they'll get in the Discord calls and everything else, and they're satisfied and they enjoy that. And for the longest time, I'm sitting here going, I'm like, but that's bullshit. It's not the same as us sitting in a room and enjoying it. But at the same time, our parents were looking at us going, this is bullshit. They're not even talking to each other. They're not forming memories. They're just sitting there looking at a computer screen together. Man, if I had fucking online play like these kids do now, I wouldn't have fucking been inviting anyone over. I was inviting folks over because I fucking had to. Now you're meaning to tell me I don't fucking have to? I just fucking type in a few little keys on my computer and I've got like 6 friends in a lobby ready to play? Fuck you guys, don't come over. So it's like I've been slowly understanding and like supporting the current gaming platform now.
I think it's just an inevitability of exploding content.
Yeah.
How much can I force feed a larger group of people? And the internet has allowed me to do that.
Yeah.
me and you played a D&D game you hosted.
Mm-hmm.
One guy was from London.
Yep.
One girl was from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You're in West Virginia. I'm in North Carolina.
We had a guy from Florida.
We all figured out how it worked. I felt bad for the guy from London.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah, one, he lives in London. No, but
Like enough to feel bad about.
But, you know, us having that interaction just for a gameplay, as short as amount as it was, for me at least, was this is super fucking convenient. But it also goes to how people, what we saw growing up with our parents, especially my parents. My parents made friends with people at work. Those friends came over to our fucking house. And they played poker, had football pools, watched boxing on pay-per-view, had barbecues. Our generation doesn't fucking do that because we hate the people we fucking work with.
Yeah.
And we can't have them in our goddamn fucking personal domiciles because it's fucking creepy. But, like, another thing is, like, I think it's on a net positive. The kids now, which would probably go more to Robert's age than mine, was because I remember going to buddies' houses and playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Being like, hey, Morris, you ever play this? No. Because I didn't have a fucking Xbox growing up. So it was just like, pick up them sticks. Let's see what you got. Holy shit, I'm really good at this. But that's what that was. And that was until the latter years in high school. But these kids have got it fucking made in the shade.
Oh, yeah.
And like, they're still, you know, kids still are active outside sometimes, you know, with, you know, some sort of violent thing they do outside with pranks in a mall or a school shooting, whatever makes them, you know, active. Whatever keeps you active, kids. With their frisbee golf or whatever stupid sport they create.
Pickleball.
Oh,
God.
Douche tennis.
Douche tennis.
That's exactly what that is. But I see it more as a way to kind of cross the border a little bit. You know, like, we live in North Carolina, he lives in West Virginia. Our lives are fucking different. Mm-hmm. But if I could talk to him person to person, there's an understanding.
Oh, yeah.
And a connection. And I think as a net positive for the next generation and the generations coming, if that is still an active part of your recess or your extracurricular activity, I'm all for it. Because the fact that our parents or our grandparents especially are like, fuck those people from California, fuck them people from Texas. It's like, I play with my friend from Houston and my friend in San Francisco, and we play Monopoly on the Switch. Pussy. It's just like that right there destroys that.
Yeah.
So I see it as a net positive.
I do too. It just took me a minute to kind of circle
And be glad
around
you can
to
shake
it.
your goddamn finger, all right? Because our previous generations were shaking a cane because they lost a foot to the diabetes. Okay.
Yeah, but that generation also bought a house for a fucking grape and have sold it for $3 million.
Yeah, and there
so
was
I don't want to hear shit.
There was lead in the gasoline, and rape wasn't a crime.
I also think that, like, some of this is stuff that really came, like, to the forefront during, like, the pandemic. Like, when
a lot of cool things came from the pandemic. A lot of reverse psychology when it came to old ways of doing things. Like having a grocer get your fucking groceries for you.
Like, especially when it comes to, like, online connection, like playing games over Discord with your friends and stuff. Like, Among Us, the pandemic was perfect for that.
Bingo, 100%.
And, like, I feel like it definitely made, like, was the signal flare kind of for companies to be like, shit, that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and other sad bullshit. Well, not necessarily sad, but just like confusing, wondering what's going to be happening moving forward. Another thing we kind of called on the podcast, just maybe not as hard because, you know, we don't like putting the cart before the horse, but Jonathan Majors fired from Disney/Marvel Studios after assault guilty verdicts. That was the guy playing Kang the Conqueror. So
He did get found guilty?
He did get found guilty.
Damn, I thought he was going to go full OJ and get acquitted.
No, he was found guilty, and it's basically within minutes of him being found guilty, Disney Marvel was just like, and you're out. Adios.
Hey, man, it is what it is. that it bites you in the ass. You got to keep a straight fucking game outside and inside. We see it with the NFL. We see it with the fucking MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bounce your fucking wife's head on an elevator. Ray Rice, don't fucking do that shit. Even though she popped you in the mouth about 30 goddamn times, which is totally fucking justified. Maybe
just don't fucking do it.
Maybe if you ran for 11,000 yards, don't commit a double murder in the middle of the fucking LA. Maybe don't do that. But it's hard to keep that line going on both sides. You know what I'm saying? You got to bob and weave it shit, Maybe keep yourself in the box a little bit.
Fucking fence sitter over here.
Yeah, fence sitter. Yeah. Hey, he may have been guilty, but you're ringing for 11,000 yards. Okay? He won the Heisman.
All right, Dave Chappelle.
He won the Heisman. I know, but he won the fucking Heisman for a reason. It wasn't because he sucked.
But I bring that up not to necessarily talk about, his allegations, but to bring up the fact, it's really no secret that Marvel has been leaning heavy on the fact that Kang is going to be, the future big baddie Thanos type threat inside the MCU. If the reports are correct, which someone submitted an anonymous report to a podcast both Chris and I listen to, The Weekly Planet, they have a segment called Hot Scoop or Shot of Poop, where people can send in anonymous, tips, and, basically time will tell if it was actually a hot scoop or a shot of poop. And this guy claims that Jonathan Majors in his contract had it stated that since the concept of variants and other versions of characters have been provided in the MCU, that only Jonathan Majors is going to play Kang the Conqueror in all variants.
That's fine. We just retcon that character.
Well, but that's going to be the major question, though. So if that is true, if he really did have that in his documents and no lawyer can work around it and recast it and have a new variant, because we even saw an example of that in Quantumania. Did you see Ant-Man Quantumania?
I have not.
Okay, so I won't give any spoiler on that, but we see other Kang variants within that movie, and they are all played by Jonathan Majors. Whereas in the Loki series, we've seen multiple different people play a variant of Loki. In Spider-Man, we've seen multiple different people play variants of Spider-Man. However...
The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man. However, with Kang and his variants, we've only seen Jonathan Majors. So that does lead to that possibly being a hot scoop. So if the threat of all these different Kangs for the Kang Dynasty Avengers movie is a thing, and that was supposed to lead into Secret Wars on Battle Planet, what the fuck do they do now?
I think we're about to see, this is just my opinion, how far AI is going to go. This is a chance for Disney to pull the biggest investment in AI doppelganger technology and just to see how far they're willing to go with it. This motherfucker's talked on screen enough just to get enough dialogue.
They have the face scans and everything else.
I saw Leia. I saw fucking General, what's his fucking name, in Rogue One. It's fine. It's fine. Who gives a fuck if his face is a little warped? Who gives a goddamn? It's variants of the same guy. I don't care. Keep it going. And if any of these stupid fucks who criticize the billion-dollar making industry that is Marvel, one guy in the comments been like, the guy went to fucking prison and got kicked off a job. It's fine if we use AI to replace him, guys.
Yeah, but so I guess the moral and ethical thing on that one being that if they continue to use his face and likeness, he's going to get a check.
That's fine.
So why even fire him in the first place?
That's moral
ambiguity. So that's that kind of line where it's just like, well, if he's still going to get a check, why are we even firing him in the first place?
So we can cut him out of listen to his goddamn mouth about it?
But that's not the problem. So with allegations like that and a firing, they're meant to sock it not only in the public standing, but in the wallet as well. So he's supposed to be cut out of a deal so he's no longer financially supported by this company.
I think it could probably go three ways. Like, I think that definitely there is like a non-zero chance that they'll like do an AI version, but I think it is more likely that they will instead just find someone else to fill the role, simply because they wouldn't want the headache. Because, like, imagine that guy's getting royalties, right? Jonathan Majors. You know that somebody's going to raise a fucking thing about that, and they probably just wouldn't want to deal with the headache. Because image is a little more important to companies than actual integrity. So if they can, unless they can find a way to get away with it where that would never come out, I don't think they would do it.
I could see them doing it just for the fact that they could be on the forefront of that and use that as the PR image of, look what we can do with the money we invested. They pulled a James Cameron, invested a bunch of money in this one thing. We made a movie, but we still invested a bunch of money in this one thing that will now become the standard, the base for a bunch of other studios, much like a LucasArts.
Well, so let me stop you there. I think you're correct, but in the wrong franchise. I think we're going to see exactly what you're describing, but it's going to be called The New Adventures of Luke Skywalker. We're going to see, because they've been practicing with Luke. They've been practicing. All his appearances in Mandalorian and everything else, they've been practicing with the Luke face. And in the last season of Mandalorian, Mark Hamill did not even go to the vocal booth. That was all AI-generated voice. Everything you saw from Luke was made by the computer. Voice, visual, image, everything. We are going to see in Adventures of young Luke Skywalker getting his fucking Jedi temple put together. And
sure,
that's where we're going to see the deep fake AI stuff really take into effect.
Sure, fuck it.
My prediction for what they're going to do, I think they legit are going to pivot away from Kang. I think they're going to find a way to silently brush him under the rug because they've done it before. They've pivoted hard before because originally the new Captain America movie was going to be called New World Order. Now it's just called The New World because they're pivoting from the initial idea of the Skrulls because that failed hard on Disney+. So with that, I think they're going to pull a big name change on the Avengers movie. It's no longer going to be the Kang Dynasty. It's going to be the rise of Magneto.
Oh, so you think they're going to do a full pivot to mutants and X-Men?
Mm-hmm. Because without giving any spoilers, there's a hidden post-credit scene to the Marvels that really introduces X-Men into the MCU. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
It's a slow drip.
Yes, but with this one, Feige went over and thumped the handle a little bit and went a little more than a drip. Yeah. We're gonna establish these characters right now. Thump.
Yeah, I know the scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be fun. I would love that.
Mm-hmm. And we saw a glimpse of him last year in the other season of What If.
Yeah, I would love it if they would just get rid of the Kang Dynasty Secret Wars off the list. That's fine. That's totally fine. You can just knock that off the fucking list. As soon as you deal with Sony's little issue of owning the Spider-Man and the X-Men to a point and Deadpool and all that, yeah, we can shoot around the table. Maybe we'll actually create a whole fucking thing of bringing Tobey Maguire back and Andrew Garfield and make a dynamic universe about these three fucking guys who are playing the same goddamn person. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fucking fun?
That would be a novel idea, Chris. I don't think it'll happen, though, because it's a smart idea.
Yeah. My ideas don't shoot. Motherfucker.
But imagine this, again, without giving much...
It's not like I said Game Boy Advance should be on the Switch or Game
Boy
Color or fuck me. You know?
But... just imagine this though. So again, not to spoil the recent Ant-Man, but again, so it's like, so imagine
he killed so many people.
No, imagine a council of Kangs all in a big Roman stadium type deal. Okay, and you've got your one central guy in the middle. You know, yada yada, giving his big speech. All of a sudden, you hear the ground rumbling. They're like, the fuck is that?
It's Squirrel Girl.
All of a sudden, the fucking roof gets fucking shattered off, and all you see are two big glowing eyes. And then like a loud like explosion, like crunch sound. And that's the end of a post-credit scene. literally Magneto eating that fucking planet that had all of them on there, being like, no, you weren't a threat.
I wouldn't use Magneto though. Magneto's not like.
What, then what's the fucking guy I'm thinking of then? That's like the Planet Crusher. Galactus, yes.
Okay.
That's who I've been thinking of then.
Yeah, Galactus would be fun because you get the Silver Surfer, the Fantastic Four franchise. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm not a big X-Men guy. Shoot me.
That's fine. When you say Magneto, I'm just like.
I mean, Magneto could come into
Michael
play.
Fassbender showing up.
He could come into play, but no, I think
Ian McKellen's old.
but I think Galactus though.
Yeah, that would be that would be a perfect.
That would be a good like hard pivot. Like, haha, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. Well, that would kind of bring the whole Eternals kind of back around because there was no backlash on the Eternals. There was just not a lot of movement on the Eternals.
Yeah,
which is technically the best Justice League movie ever made. Just saying, it's a better Justice League movie. If you actually watch the Eternals, you're like, yeah, that's...
You're talking to two people that have not watched the Eternals, I'm
Imagine
assuming.
Someone made the perfect Justice League movie, but Marvel did it with no-name characters. There's a fast guy, there's a Superman guy, there's a tech guy, you know? What I'm saying is, like, that storyline is the backdrop to what would have been Galactus or the other bigger celestial beings that are happening in the background while the Avengers is happening, New Mutants or whatever the fuck you want to call them. But Galactus would be a great pull to bring it all together, because he places himself in every storyline, and he's not so big that he can't be defeated, but he's not so small that he's easily defeated.
Right,
like your, James Spader's fucking the robot man. What's his name? Ultron.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like that, where Marvel's really good at killing off really good villains, which I fucking hate. They figured it out this last phase while keeping some of them alive long enough to make a Thunderbolts movie. But that's another thing. Like, if you're going to get rid of that, how's that going to play into your other movies that probably wouldn't have been a part of that anyway? That would have just been backdrop stuff.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to be the big bad in Thunderbolts? Is it going to be Thunderbolt Ross by Harrison Ford? Is it going to be Red Hulk? Who is going to be the big bad in that movie? Because that's a movie that's still on the pyre, guys. That's the one coming around the corner, and that'll probably be the next $1 billion one. That's a hard. I know it's hopeful.
I think one's going to beat it, and it's going to be the only movie on the slate for the MCU next year. Deadpool 3.
But that's a Sony thing.
No,
Marvel doesn't. Disney doesn't own Deadpool.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's part of the X-Men.
Nope. Fox owned Deadpool.
That's right. They bought Fox,
and they bought Fox. Disney owns Deadpool.
No.
Back in the fold, motherfucker.
Back in the fold. One at a time. Just saying. We're just strangling the fuck out.
I think that movie is going to be the first movie they have in a while that breaks some records.
Yeah. It's hard to say, guys. Movie theater experience is shit.
And I think that, like, if it does, I think that'll show that there is an audience for more adult-oriented Marvel content specifically, which I really want. Like, because, the thing about Invincible and The Boys, like, what makes those so popular is that they are such a deviation from the standard Marvel show or movie, right?
I love The Boys so
Omni-Man
much.
punches a dude, you see, like, everybody gets fucked up. Like, it's not just he just stands back up and gives a quip, you know?
The thing about the Invincible and The Boys is it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's not even Dark Horse. It is its own thing. There was no big catalog of stuff from the goddamn 60s to retcon in. Invincible is an original idea,
right? And I'm not necessarily saying that they have to be those. I'm just using them as an example of, like,
but I know what you're saying.
More,
but I think that's why they're very well loved.
Yeah,
it's like the show Preacher on AMC. That show was fantastic because it was a fucking comic made by Garth Ennis, who made fucking The Boys. It's those
phrasing,
things.
Chris. Phrasing.
Yeah.
Fucking The Boys.
You can put a period in there if you want to. Make it kosher. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of love for, like, Generation V that came out.
I've yet to watch that.
They bring back Soldier Boy for that as a cameo, and it's very awkward. It's a hallucination dream, kind of, but it's fucking hilarious. But it's on par with The Boys. It kind of shows kind of like, hey, what happens to an up and comer hero in this new world order that is The Boys? There's an academy they can go to. There's a place they can learn to train and their stupid bullshit. And every now and then, gods from the mountain come down. And this is like, hey, motherfucker, you want to be part of the new crew? Yeah! Shut the fuck up. I brained a blind fella like it wasn't nothing. I love that one. The fucking, the Robin-esque character who's hopping around Daredevil-esque and just like, so tell me, what would you do in this situation? Whap! Just boxed his fucking ears and he just dies. Oh God! Oh God! Bring me someone who isn't fucking handicapped.
Well, I think the last thing on the docket that we ought to discuss, something we watched right before we hit the record button. Let's go ahead and make that our main topic. It's going to be adults only, ladies and gentlemen.
Waka 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 waka.
Was that Sexy Pac-Man?
No, that was...
That's what it sounded like. Waka waka.
It was definitely Sexy Pac-Man.
No, that was the Sexy Muppet. The bear. The
Sexy
bear
Fozzie?
Yeah, fucking waka 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 waka. Waka waka!
The South Park Adults Only Cred episode. Holy shit. Out of all the specials, the COVID specials, the pandemic, because COVID and pandemic were two different specials, and then recently the Integrity Farms Future episodes, The Future Sucks. Out of all of these, I have to say this is my favorite so far.
Yeah, this is probably the top two for me, because the pandemic one was fun. When they're going to the future and being like, Kenny, what happened to Kenny? Mm-hmm. Oh, he just got really fucked up and died.
But he was a brilliant scientist and all this shit.
Professor Chaos.
Yes.
The alternate worlds that is the South Park universe in the future is hilarious. But this one was a solid one from beginning to end.
Have you been keeping up with the specials much?
Not really. I used to watch a lot of South Park, but we ditched cable right before it picked up on like all these different streaming services and stuff. So beyond, I think the last one I watched was about the election with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. That was it. That was the last one I saw.
We're gonna fuck him out to death.
Honestly, not much has happened continuity wise since then. It's like as long as you're caught up to at least that season, you can basically watch any current one and pretty much follow along.
Yeah, after the 2016 election, Trey Parker Batstone kind of took a step back and been like, I think we're telling the future. I think we need to fucking stop.
Yeah.
So we're just going to write stories about Stan and his family. And we're going to write stories about the guys that are missing a friend. Mm-hmm. Let's make it a kind of a heartfelt kind of thing going in. Because I remember that first episode, like right after the election, was Stan lives on the farm.
Yep.
And they're doing the farm concert. And it's like, we're Crimson Dawn. I hope you enjoy our songs. It is like before that, it was like butter and squirrels, and it's just like Stan and his fucking buddies going. It's just like, and like Timmy's on fucking drums, and
Butter's on bass.
Yeah, and it's just like Stan's hair's gone down. But that was the next thing, and it wasn't nothing to do with politics or the real world. It was just like Stan fucking hates his life.
But I think they're hitting their stride again, because I thought South Park was always the best when they were skewering pop culture. They did really good at making fun of political stuff. Like, one of my favorite episodes for the longest time was the episode that they aired like the night after Obama was elected.
Oh yeah, Obama! Oh yeah, Obama! We won! Yeah. Change! And it's just people just dying left and fucking right.
But it was also the heist with him and McCain and everything else. And they've made some really good political episodes. However, snotty rich teenagers, the Paris Hilton episode, and like anything Tom Cruise and Kanye, they were always their best when they were skewering pop culture. Yeah. And it felt like for a while they didn't know where to turn, if that makes sense, because the celebrity was no longer being held to the same regard in like between the 2014 15s to now, as they were even in the early 2000s. Celebrity was seen in a different way, so they didn't have as much to poke at, and any celebrity drama was kind of real. It wasn't just, oh, we have a stupid blonde bimbo that's famous for doing nothing, we're gonna make fun of her. It's like, oh, there's Harvey Weinstein, I don't think we want to talk about that. There's nothing humorous to be found here.
But like from 2016 to 2018, there was this fucking news overload of people just. It kind of felt like you're in the grocery aisle where the tabloids are, where it's just like Bat Kid ate John Bonet, and it's just like, my God, what the fuck? And the next day you're there with your mom at the grocery store. It's like John Bonet actually killed the Bat Boy, and it's just like, and these guys are trying to do it in 6 days.
Yeah,
and every third day is a goddamn Challenger explosion. Like every other day is 9/11. So like these guys could not keep the fuck up, and reality was kicking the shit out of parody. The Onion, I would fucking have a panic attack working for The Onion, because if I wrote an article, it'd probably be fucking true.
I can see you just coming in the offices of
did you write it,
The Onion,
Morrison? Did you write a fucking article about cannibal babies in Washington D.C.? Yeah, I thought it was funny as shit. It was true, you fucking prick.
And you're over here shaking, smoking your fucking third cigarette in the last 10 minutes.
I want to go finish my pack of Winston's and a Dr. Pepper on my break.
But I feel like they've kind of figured it out. They've quit looking at so many tiny things and are now looking at the broader scope. And they're also giving things some time. It felt like there for a minute they were trying to react too quickly just to get in the first laugh. But this episode focused on adults and teachers in a situation that are dealing with children having an OnlyFans, and then YouTube influencers. Honestly, at the end of the day, they just used Prime cred as kind of the backdrop, but really in essence it's what are your children watching, and we're also going to kind of poke fun at ourselves because now we're asking the question that people were accusing us of in the late 90s. None of that's new. All of that's like about a good year or so old. I feel like they took the time to think about the issue some and then made the episode. Yet it was still topical because it's still something happening even today, a year or so later.
I think what makes it will probably be timeless. It will be the parents taking responsibility for what your children are watching. At the end of the day, this is a constant joke since the fucking Simpsons and SNL. The Simpsons did this their second season during their first Treehouse of Horror, or second Treehouse of Horror, where Marge Simpson comes on stage and says, "Hey, this is kind of adult. This is why it's being shown at this time. Please understand, this is why it's done this way.
Yeah,
you are responsible for your kids." And that was Marge Simpson in 1992. They are just reiterating that, especially with their graphic fucking intro of exotic late night South Park and just profiles of people fucking. But like, and it's just like not suitable for kids. And it's just like that blatant red sign. No shit. Yep. No shit, guys. Yep. Maybe take the phone away from your fucking kid long enough to make sure they're not watching some whore on TikTok. Or some horrific other thing on TikTok, because I've seen some people's stream going through. It's just like, oh, that's an Instagram chick. That's an Instagram chick. That's a lady showing an autopsy. Next thing it's like, whoa, you guys are really shotgunning the approach on TikTok. That's why I don't have it. I just use Reels like a sane person, because I can be off. But TikTok's like, we have 17 more decapitation videos. I'm like, it's not 2003 anymore, guys.
It's so crazy. That's just so fucking real.
That's what's fun about it. It's so goddamn real and scary.
Or TikTok is bad about that, but so many places are trying to then do the same thing. With Reels, or on YouTube with YouTube Shorts. And on YouTube Shorts, I don't follow anybody that is expressly religious, but all I get are religious conspiracy shorts. It's did you know that in Matthew Perry number 45?
Yeah, so
and I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Do not recommend. And the next one, same fucking thing.
But they recently came out with an article. The Columbia came out with an article where they created 15 new bland users for YouTube. No preferences. and it's all hardcore right-wing stuff that's recommended immediately. And it's just like, God damn it. Because I'm getting that shit too. Because I've been watching a history thing about World War II or doing research about gangsters or something. When I go to the shorts, it's just like that persnickety little Jew fella. What's his name? The guy who can't get his wife wet.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
It's his stuff. I'm like, I don't fucking like this guy. Get the fuck off. What the fuck is this bullshit?
So exactly what you were saying and what they were kind of showing in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to any of those kind of people. I mean, you pull up my YouTube subscriptions. I mean, they're fucking showing right there. You got like Game Grumps, Ryan Trahan, Austin Evans. Okay, those three right there. Video gameplay. Ryan Trahan does a bunch of penny challenges, and Austin Evans does fucking tech review shit. I don't follow any bullshit motherfuckers on my YouTube. I'm not interested.
For those who just listening, we are scrolling through, and it's a lot of Alex Jones.
But as
and
soon
the
as
Luciferian
For the audio
reptilians.
listeners, there is no video.
I'm just making all this shit up.
He's just making it up like a crazy person.
But if I hop in my shorts after about maybe that
Phrasing.
10th or 11th, after I hop and get like 10 or 11 videos in, all of a sudden, like one of those Sigma male profiles will pop up.
Right?
Yeah, and it's
like,
always fucking Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders, or like what's his name from American Psycho?
Yeah, like Christian Bale. Yeah,
Christian Bale. Yeah.
or like fucking Andrew Tate of all fucking people, and you can always tell how which video it is because there's a slow guitar version of "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These" playing in the background.
And I'm just like, Peaky Blinders is a fun show, but I don't need a fucking rock jam in the background of it because you're ruining the context of the fucking statement that he's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't need some Sigma male bullshit.
So it's like being 31, looking at these videos, I'm going, this is some stupid bullshit. There's like maybe 1 out of 100 of these videos that are actually worthwhile because just like a fucking broken clock, you know, every one of these motherfuckers can say something that's of value once out of their 100 videos, which is exactly what all these fanboys love to do. They're like, oh, you're going to say someone that says this is a bad guy. And it's like the one video of the guy going, look, I want you to just genuinely believe in yourself. Be kind to the people. They have that one video, and they'll always point to that one when the rest of them are just like, women are fucking objects, and they should listen to you immediately. If they don't fucking do that, say hello to the back of this hand, biatch. You know, shit like that.
I always get the clips of the guy talking to like the Instagram girls. And he's sitting around the table.
Oh, yeah, and he's like fucking dressing them down for being like OnlyFans
and
models and shit.
He's like, is that all you're good for? I'm like, dude, your job is a shitty radio DJ.
Yeah.
That's not even on XM or FM. You're on a podcast that, like, I do a podcast. It's not that fucking hard, but you, and I was just like, this is why he doesn't have guys on there because they're just like, oh man, what are you pulling down? How much money are you pulling down? And it's just like, this girl made $10,000 just playing with herself.
I was gonna say,
that's something else. That's just something else. That's what she does. But you, what the fuck do you make? And if you got like a regular guy off the street, like some guy I worked with, it's like, well, what does Jerry do? He makes steel parts that makes powertrains for fucking vehicles every goddamn day. Okay, what do you do, disc boy? Tell me something you do, radio boy. Show me what you can do with them headphones and that mic. As he starts taking his fucking veiny, vascular hands out of his pockets long enough to strangle him to death. And I've noticed my hands have slowly become that.
but my point being is, like, as a 31-year-old, I can look at these videos and be like, well, here's some bullshit. Or, you know, oh, well.
But if you're a 12-year-old boy watching that bullshit.
That's the point. It's like, all of a sudden, take a non-formed opinioned mind, a person that's not been in the real world, had to deal with real people in real scenarios, and, you know, actually, you know, learn your social skills and not just react like a robot to things. All of a sudden is sitting here listening to these folks, and yeah, it can have a negative impact. And not to sound like the fucking, you know, as I was saying earlier, the fucking adult, you know, pointing their finger at the younger generation, but it's like, facts are facts. It was harder for us to get a bad influence. We had to turn to the right channel. We had to go to the
we had-
right website.
All we had was fucking E-Bombs World and
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
But it's like now
and
in the
the
middle
fucking
of me,
WWF.
but now in the middle of me scrolling fucking, gameplay videos and tech videos, all of a sudden it's just like, here's how to be a real Sigma male in less than a week. It's just like, I didn't ask for this.
I love the people.
And it's only because I sit there and I'm watching the whole thing going, wow, this is dumb. Wow, wow. And then I scroll. YouTube logs that. And they're like, oh, he must be interested in this.
Yeah, it logs
And
your-
then
it
they're
logs
going to
your
start
time.
serving you more.
Yeah, and even if you do click do not recommend or do not like,
There's a million channels to fucking replace it.
even Facebook, like I've taken people off. Like there's a person me and you both know, Alex, and like he posted some shit kind of like that. So I just unfollowed it. The next day after I closed the app, restarted my phone or whatever I do, he's back on there. So it doesn't recognize your commands at all.
Yeah.
It actively tries to get you down that path. And if they had done that, the episode would have gotten a little too real. But this one was basically a target against like Prime Energy, Logan Paul, the influence culture of famous for being famous, and that's what it was. And it's like the people you like who do literally nothing, as opposed to like Mr. Beast, who is like a very charitable guy. But I've never seen a video of it. I've never sat down and watched it. All I know is he makes a fuck ton of money and shares the money.
Yeah. And he's like around our area.
But when it comes to people like Logan Paul, or even the California podcast scene, which is YouTube heavy, I don't know what you do. Why are you famous? I know why Shane Gillis is famous. I know why
Theo Vaughn is
Theo's famous. I know why these guys are, because they're comedians. But the guys who are hosting the podcast, I have no idea where you're from.
Kill Tony. Why the fuck is Tony famous?
Yeah. He's just a comedian from the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
But that's it.
But all of a sudden he's like this big name, and you're like, I've not heard his name before he started hosting these events.
He got the Rogan bump. But like
okay.
But like
The bro bump.
But like apart from those guys, your Logan Pauls, your influencers, your people who are just out in the open, just face to face with probably younger people as their target audience. Because can you imagine being an adult and me trying to sell you a knockoff Gatorade?
Wait, which I mean, like, I guess quick side thing here. Like, I've actually tried Prime. Have you ever had those?
Sinner.
Have you ever had one of those other ones called Body Armor?
I've had a body armor.
Yeah.
Exact same. Not it's literally tastes like they just poured that into a thing labeled Prime, and
It's
that's
just got
it.
like a fuck ton of caffeine in it.
That's the energy drink they have. Just the regular
Prime.
Gatorade.
Yeah.
So I will say in that video, the special we watched, the one thing I will say that they didn't get right is they were conflating Prime Energy with Prime Hydration.
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Now, note, the hydration drink does not work because they promote themselves with a specific formula, and that specific formula only sounds good on paper. It doesn't do anything for your body. Yeah. So they try saying it's just like, oh, it's low in sodium. Look at how much sodium is in all these other hydration drinks. Sodium doesn't hydrate you. Well, correction. Certain sodium does keep
it's electrolytes, guys.
Yeah, and those electrolytes aren't about necessarily hydrating you from drinking it. It's about keeping the water in. Like,
fucking preach, man. We got educated motherfuckers here. So it's just, so he's pushing a lot of things that are factually correct, but said in the wrong tone, which is misinformation.
If you want a straight fact, it's Four Loko without alcohol.
So that's the one thing they actually just kind of got messed up. Is one of the funniest jokes was misled. So Craig, who has now kind of been like the new Clyde.
Craig is the one who wears the blue hat and does this.
Correct. Yes, Clyde.
Bunch of C names.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's lame Stan.
Yes, he's now lame Stan. He's kind of taken.
Stan.
He's kind of taken the place of like Stan's learning, because
Yeah.
we grew up learning with Stan. Now Stan is a bit more smart.
I think what I've learned today is
yeah. Now we're kind of moving it over to Clyde. So he is sitting here watching Logan LaDouche.
Yeah.
On YouTube,
and he's an amalgamation of quite a few different ones.
KSI, Logan Paul, all the major influencer types that are pushing brands and products. Although the video I'm referencing is a straight rip of a Logan Paul video, and it's fucking hilarious. They did one of those shot by shot recreations they'll do every so often. But the funniest joke in there was in the original video, it was this midget short guy holding a bottle of Prime Hydration going like, I can't feel my face. And they replaced it with a kid on here going like, I can't feel my face. But it was implied that it was from all the energy and everything else. And like later on, Cartman makes it being like, yeah, Tweak drinks 4 of these for breakfast.
Yeah,
also implying that there's a lot of caffeine in it when the bottles they're holding is meant to be like the Gatorade or Body Armor or Liquid IV version of Prime. So one nerd correction on that.
the weird thing I find is I've seen Prime sold right next to the Starbucks triple shots. I see it sold next to the Celsius, the V8s I drink and stuff like that. It's about caffeine. Caffeine is the next nicotine, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's over the counter and you don't have to be fucking 21. As someone who drinks a lot of caffeine, either voluntary or involuntary, when I was tricked, and to this day, I think that's why I decided to accept the offer from Panera, was because they gave me that. I didn't realize that until after people started dying. Was like my first interview for Panera. They asked me, hey, do you want something to drink? I'm like, what do you serve? Because at that point, I had never been to a fucking Panera Bread. And they're like, oh, we have a new green tea. She didn't say it was some supercharged bullshit. She just said it was green tea. I was like, yeah, I'll take a green tea. That's a moderate drink. And after 4 of them, I'd already finished the goddamn computer training. And they're like, can you come in Wednesday? I'm like, do I have the job? Yeah, you got the job. And I'm just like, now I'm realizing that, like, post-caffeine clarity, I'm just like, oh my God, I was drugged into working for Panera Bread for like a month.
Well, see, that's what happened, man, because it's like you got that job at Panera. We were doing a shit ton of podcasts.
I felt great every day.
And then you quit there, and then all of a sudden...
I hate you!
It was like all of a sudden...
Everything sucks!
We stopped podcasting. And now we're only podcasting because you've just now woken up from the caffeine coma.
But I will say this. I was not weak and died from it.
I know, that's the funny thing is like you were talking about how supercharged all this green tea and lemonade was, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
And then I told you about what's on the goddamn sign that's rusted over.
And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And then like a month ago, all this news started coming out. I'm like, oh shit, Chris wasn't fucking around.
No, because I was drinking large.
Yeah.
Like 4 of a day. Throughout like...
you were bringing home you were coming in to do podcasting with the fucking cups, and they were like the fucking big boy, McDonald's cups of this shit.
No ice. And I was just like, at no point did I realize didn't read the sign, was a medium is 225 milligrams. That's 8 cups of coffee as a medium. A 16 ounces is 225 milligrams. So I'm drinking 32 ounce cups, 4 at minimum during an 8-hour shift, plus water. And then coming
Thank God
home
for the water.
Yeah. I'm alive. I beat the caffeine. I beat the drug. Okay, those people were weak.
Back to South Park.
Not to disparage the dead and the weak,
but they're fucking dead and weak.
What did they know? They failed.
They will not make it into Valhalla.
Yeah.
They won't get mad. They're not going to hear this anyway.
Yeah. They didn't go to my funeral. Why would I go to theirs?
That's the main hook. So they've of course got 2 storylines going. They kind of intersect a few times, but it's pretty self-contained each one. What
is acceptable? Period.
Exactly. So yeah, what is acceptable? So it's like you follow Clyde, Cartman, Butters, and all of them on their quest to find actual cred, and then you've got the other subplot, which is the art teacher was found to have an OnlyFans page, and of course the parents overreact.
Rabble.
And Mr. Mackey informs them that they should talk to their kids about what they may have seen.
Yeah.
That part made me laugh the hardest when I first watched it. It's like, you may have to talk to your kids about what they may have seen. Meaning, they're about to learn a bunch of shit that they didn't even know about, all because they're worried they might have seen it.
But it's this fallacy of how do you raise children now, where the whole world is at the tip of your goddamn hands. When you're a fucking kid. My nieces are 7 and 8. When they come to my house, they grab a phone and watch fucking TikTok and shit. I can't watch them 100%, so I have to kind of overhead look. I will say, the youngest one likes watching horror movies explained, so she's fine. Watching Hellraiser reviews.
She's a lady of taste.
Yeah, she's a lady of taste. Black eyes, like doll's eyes. But like, for me, you know, they're not my kids, but eventually there's going to become a point where maybe take that the fuck away. Maybe let's not, like, my introduction to the internet was slow drip.
Same.
Okay? Theirs is, bam, 5 fucking G, tip of the fucking spear of everything I've seen, they can watch now in 2 seconds.
Yep. Where we had to wait 5 minutes per page.
I had to wait fucking an hour to download a song. You did not have to do this. I remember you growing up. But when I'm seeing this kind of thing is like, there's a part where the parent has to just step the fuck up. It is not a teacher's responsibility to teach them everything about society.
Oh, come on, Mr. Starch said it best. Come on, we can't watch what our children eat, drink, consume on the computer all the time. They're your kids.
Yeah. I mean, my mom's a teacher.
Yeah.
And she gets this all
Your mom
the time.
is a middle school teacher.
Yeah, specifically middle school.
Fuck them kids. Those kids are animals and need to be separated.
Yeah, and it's
with
like
cattle prods.
They expect so much of the like when they closed school for the pandemic, you had like people going after school staff, faculty, etc., because they view it basically as a my kid has somebody else that can, like a daycare, basically.
Right? An overbalanced daycare.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I get some parents have jobs, they got to work, it's the state of the world, whatever. But at the same time, yeah, they're your kids. Why should my mom tell your kid that doing X thing is bad and or wrong and or...
They should be there to remind and reinforce, not teach that.
Yeah.
They're there to teach ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. This is what happened during this history lesson, and here's osmosis. Yeah, or go home.
Or like the big thing people will do, they'll be like, why aren't schools teaching our kids how to do taxes? And it's like, well, you're a parent, you already pay taxes. Why don't you show them? Why should the teacher have to do it? You know?
And you know what? And as correct as you are on that, I wind up kind of falling under that same argument of why aren't they? Because there are so many parents that just don't teach their kids that shit. I mean, I remember growing up and mom being like, at a young age, being like, hey, today you're going to learn how to fry an egg. I'm like, okay. And then later on, today you're going to learn how to grill a steak. And like growing up, she started teaching me these little things on how to cook, to the point where when I was 12 years old, mom was having to work, dad was out of town, and I was cooking Christmas dinner. So it's like I learned a skill because my parent went, you're going to learn this. You need to learn this. Mm-hmm. I don't hear about that kind of stuff anymore.
I turned into a very old crotchety man around my nieces when I tried to show them something. Mm-hmm. Because the first thing I tried to do with my oldest niece, who's 8, I was like, come here, I'll show you how to make eggs. Because I was 7 when I learned how to make eggs.
Yeah.
And she doesn't show any fucking interest. And I'm just like, weak. And like, when I do the history podcast, we forgot, with Christy, and she tells me about her students, it's so hard not to be the old man in the room. I'm like, this weak ass fucking generation crying while watching a documentary about Jim fucking Jones. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And I'm just like, oh wait, no, I'm a monster. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm sorry for calling you weak, but you are super empathetic and it's disgusting. Oh wait, empathy's good. Okay.
So that was my dad coming out. I'm sorry.
Let me just shake that off real quick. Goddamn Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. It was like that crotchety old man thing. It's just like, oh fuck you guys are a bunch of pussies. But like just turned into Cotton Heel. I was hoping to be Hank Heel for a minute, but then I turned into Cotton Heel real goddamn quick. But it is also another thing too, is when you're watching South Park, they do personify the kids as very empathetic. The kids never go out of the way to ruin a kid, except for Cartman.
Yes,
Cartman
he deserves it.
Cartman is the outlier. Cartman is the villain of the show. But when we watch Timmy and Jimmy, there is never a focus on their disability as a negative. These two kids are highly successful and loved, generally. And so the kids of South Park are the kids of today in school. They are super empathetic. They're the next generation, the soft generation who are going to have the whole world at the tip of their fingers and could really do something. They just stop being weak assholes.
So the other main topic again being the art teacher with the OnlyFans, and Randy hears how much she's making per week.
10,000 a week.
And goes, oh,
520,000 a year.
Whew.
And that, like, I will say this. Some of the shit you see, like especially on Reels, where it talks about like people like breaking down OnlyFans and all these other things, how much influencers are making and how much an OnlyFans person makes. Yeah, they're making that money because someone is buying it, guys. It's okay. It is a job to a point. I know it's very easy for them, but Jesus Christ, it's a job.
Yeah, like just. It's kind of
we all sell our bodies for a certain amount of time an hour. We just all accept a different pay rate for it. That's all.
I equate stuff like that to like Twitch streaming, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can.
What is Markiplier? What is a Markiplier? What is he?
He's a hoe.
He's a hoe.
Yeah, I mean, and sure,
He's
you can
a
watch
whore.
him. You can watch him for free on YouTube, but they have a thing called YouTube memberships now, where you can give him money. It's the same principle. Sure, you could, like OnlyFans is primarily used for sex workers, and sure you could find porn for free. But if you find some you really fucking like, throw some bones their way. It's the same principle with ad block.
I think she's getting plenty of bones, bro.
But
Sharon was.
But I'm sure you're picking up what I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
That's what the OnlyFans girl said.
I was thinking it allowed you to say it because I already got one in.
Keep walking into them.
Just keep walking into them. Just like
Just like
OnlyFans.
It's a fucking minefield out here.
Yeah, I know. Said the Ukrainian soldier while watching OnlyFans.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, did it get too real? That's what broke you, Ukraine?
Listen to this fucking guy for that type of talk.
They're really kicking ass, guys. I will say the 200 million was said is really kicking the fuck out of Russia. 87% military loss. Jesus, that's a fucking deal.
I do think that this special, though, was just an excuse for Matt and Trey to tell their animators, you're gonna animate a bunch of dicks.
Oh,
You curious about what Randy's dick looks like?
The five
no questions.
The 5 animators in charge of Randy's dick and balls have had a field day of just you're telling us it's a 45 goddamn minute episode and 30 minutes of it is Randy's dick and balls. But like what I love about it is they do these callbacks for Randy where it's just like meals under $6, which is a legitimate OnlyFans thing. There are people at OnlyFans who teach you how to cook.
How do you know this, Chris?
Because they advertise it on Reels, asshole. I'm not spending money on the internet.
There's a guy I watch. He's a lawyer, legal. He has an OnlyFans where that's all he does is legal shit.
And his secretary probably has one too.
Yeah,
but like he's doing the thing that Randy Marshall's good at was cooking.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, are they going to do a cream fresh joke and it's going to be disgusting?
No, just topped with fresh nuts.
Just fresh nuts, and it's just like Randy, and I love that Sharon being the moral obelisk in this fucking family, and it's just like, get your goddamn dick and balls off the table.
Oh, thanks, Sharon. You ruined the fucking shot.
But then we get a new one from Sharon, you're a bigot, to Sharon, you're being a cunt. Which I love that we needed a new Sharon quote. And that's what I love about Randy. It's just like from the video games, fuck you, Sharon, you cunt. And it's just like, Randy, you're the one that's been keying my car. The whole time of the video game, like when you find out, we got to figure out who's keying Randy's car, and it's Randy drunk as fuck. Fuck you, whore! Sharon, fuck you, fucking bitch! And it's just like, Randy, come back inside, okay? And it's Randy the whole time keying the car, but it's like that's what that is.
Yeah,
Randy fucking Marsh, the new main character of South Park.
Well, just because Matt and Trey got older and they no longer saw themselves as the kids, they saw themselves more like Randy. Yeah. So that's why Randy's been more of the focus, because they can put him in more scenarios.
And what I love is they're going back to some of that childhood, like late 1990s humor, where it's like Mattel. I got Mattel 160. Yeah, that is such a childish fucking thing to do, but it still works.
And the perfect callback with Clyde and his mom, or stepmom rather.
Yeah.
It's like,
fucking fantastic.
Shut the fuck up, you're not even my mom.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect callback because his mom got sucked into the toilet because he left the toilet seat up.
And there is continuity in the show that stands.
Yep.
One of the reasons why we probably don't see Tweek's family is because they got kidnapped at one episode and no one ever really resolved it. That's why we never see Tweek's parents for a while.
Next special.
Well, like Chris keeps mentioning shit and it keeps happening, so who the fuck knows? But no, so as you were also mentioning, Sharon gets a feather up her ass and decides to put a dildo there as well.
Well, it's to shoot Randy down.
Yes.
I'm going to make my OnlyFans with hookers and blow. It's going to be better.
Yeah, okay, Sharon.
And he's just like following her, and he's just like, yeah, no way, nuh-uh. And he keeps following it, and it's just this realization is like, fuck! Like, God damn it!
And the next time we see him, he's like watching the screen. You like hear her moaning and just being like, make sure and hit that subscribe button.
And he's just like critiquing the shit out of it. The lighting's bad, the audio's clipping, that guy's in the way. And it's just like, what was that last part, Randy? The guy that's in the way.
The thing is, I felt a little attacked in that moment, not for specifically an OnlyFans or a guy in the way thing, but like, I do graphic design, I do media stuff, and so many times I'll watch a YouTuber or something and be like, why is this guy famous? If this guy can make videos, so can I. His video sucks. He has no transitions. The audio's horrible. There's not any lighting. There's no background music. How is this guy famous? So as soon as I saw Randy being like, yeah, I mean, there's more to making OnlyFans content. You have to have right lighting and the right audio. And then critiquing her shit afterward, I'm just like slumping in my seat being like, oh, God damn it.
Oh, that was a reference to my Twitch, by the way. It's awful. The trashiest streamed ever streamed.
I can see you doing this, like watching Scott the Woz, and then having that sudden realization where you're just sitting there hitting your fucking vape and you're like, oh, people like it because this is all he ever fucking does and has 30 episodes a minute. That's why he's famous, not because of the quality. It's just he creates content like a motherfucker and doesn't have a real goddamn job like everybody else. That's why they're famous, Alex. It's because they don't have jobs.
But where are they getting the money?
Their parents.
No, I was asking that question as a lead-in because of the rest of the episode. Yeah, and then of course the rest of the episode just kind of devolves into this big conspiracy thing with the cred drinks and Logan LaDouche not actually being the one creating it, but this deeper meaning and like.
But like influencers are being bought and sold.
Yes, and it feels like they're. And it honestly, my only main critique of the thing. They were really building up this interesting ending. And then like, you know, there's this guy up on the rooftop and he shoots Logan LaDouche after, you know, he caused a riot at a CVS a few towns over because of this mega cred that was going to be available in limited stock. Yeah. All the kids show up and it's like this total brutal zombie attack kind of, you know, brawl, blood fucking everywhere. They find the guy, they confront him. In the middle of the confronting him, he gets shot in the head by this masked guy up on the roof. Cops eventually get him down. Yep. And they reveal the mask and it's the fucking auctioneer that we mentioned earlier. And the cop even tells the kid, he's just like, he's only the middleman, kid. If you only knew who was truly at the top, you'd be sickened. And it's like, and leading up all this just to find out, it's fucking Craig's mom.
Clyde.
I'm a fuck their names.
But it's
the kid,
Clyde,
the other kid.
Yeah, but it's for Clyde, especially Clyde. Everything else you leave ambiguous because that's the great thing about South Park. The big bad is always ambiguous. They did it before with the weird like assassination episode where Jimmy's like, I know the truth, but if I tell you, it'll horrify you. Mm-hmm. It's Charbon. And it's like you tell the toilet paper people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really? No, you left it ambiguous enough to like the big bad is whoever we think the big bad is.
Right.
they showed Mattel, they showed Belgium for some fucking reason, they showed China, they showed Canada, but they showed all these like
vodka company.
Yeah, Sailor Vodka, and and it's like corporations and countries are vying for your viewership. And yes, that's fucking true. But
come on, Betty Crocker, we've been asking for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we are happy to talk about all your beautiful, lovely cakes
not to
and
derail the
desserts.
podcast, but the moistness of the Betty Crocker chocolate cake, along with the cream cheese frosting, is a fantastic joint effort.
I'm personally a fan of the buttercream icing. The buttercream just is extremely smooth. I like the whipped variety as well.
And some people are wrong and are Nazis.
Exactly, but not at Betty Crocker.
Not at Betty
More
Crocker.
like a Betty Crocker shit.
Oh,
Betty Crocker, he lives in Nutter Fort, West Virginia. In the hall.
My IP address is 198.
he is a special guest of the network. He does not represent the network as a whole.
I own the network.
Shit.
He's the big bad. He's the ambiguity.
He's the creator of Prime. But no, so yeah, I do understand what they were trying to say in the episode. I just wish it hadn't have been like that on the nose, where it was like specifically that mom trying to make a point.
I think they did it because it brings South Park back to the simple fuck you jokes that they were known for like the seasons like 4 through 8 and like going to 10 to like 16, I think.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, can I call you mom? Of course. You can't.
Fuck you, mom.
Fuck you, mom, and fingers. Get the fuck out of there. And I'm just like, that right there is pure South Park.
Yeah.
With all the parody and all the political, societal, clicks and tricks and shit. That's what it is.
Shut the fuck up, Janice. You're not even my real mom.
Fuck you, mom. That was a great ending. Perfect.
And yes, that was a perfect ending. I feel like the Randy storyline kind of had to get wrapped up quick. It feels like they didn't know how to end it because it was leading in a funny direction, because Randy was almost the running joke of what South Park was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Randy constantly saying, oh, no, they're not going to see this. OnlyFans is for only adults. Kids aren't allowed to see this.
Kids can't see OnlyFans.
Yeah, and like literally pointing to his dick and being like, kids can't see this. As I'm sure there is some under 18-year-old watching this episode of South Park. So they're kind of putting it on the nose, being like, they labeled the episode for adults only and all this shit. However, there's going to be underagers watching it.
However, when you go on the app, it doesn't ask you if you're 18 when you click play on the goddamn episode.
No.
Even though it's just mature 18 rating. That's it. But like, there's an
that's
understanding, though. Like, it is,
so they're making fun of that understanding, though. So
I was waiting for a bigger joke about the whole cred or prime, whatever. It's like, this isn't for kids. And it's just like, Peppa Pig flavored fucking
They
blah,
did.
blah. I know, but like it wasn't so on the nose. It was kind of like subliminal till the very end, where it's just like, we got jelly mango dream, and it's just like an adult would not drink that.
yeah, I think another one's like Gerber blueberry surprise or something like that.
No adults, unless they're drink something blue.
So the Randy storyline, Sharon winds up beating him in subscribers.
3,100 a week.
He meets up with that kid that was selling Prime or cred bottles on the school. Nathan gets a bunch from him and gains a huge online traction by getting the cred and pouring it on his dick as a taste test.
Hello, Randy, my friend.
Selling cred? No, I don't even know what cred is.
I'm not worried about it. Push the fuck right now.
FBI comes, raids them, and they're like, yo, you were like,
showing your dick and balls to kids.
And you were influencing minors.
Yep.
And, we've now found these horrible images of minors we must show you. And it's like these black and white, like, coal miners with, like, their dicks hanging out.
So subtle and good.
And they wrap that up by, like, showing Randy and Sharon throwing away a bunch of cred bottles. And just being like, I don't need cred, this is a blah, 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 blah. It felt like they wanted to make a joke about miners and they actually being coal miners and then didn't know what to do after that.
No, I think they made the joke of,
I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to tell you anything.
That right there was a nice fuck you. But the minor pornography, that's what they were trying to show. And it's like, is South Park really going to show this? And they're like, go fuck yourself. No, it's minors with their dicks out. But what they showed was like the like double entendre of the wording was, I don't need cred. I don't need credibility.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be Randy Marsh, which is South Park doesn't need credibility. It's always going to be fucking South Park. Meanwhile, Cartman, being the evil that he is, Austin so-and-so's got the new Mega Prime, blah, 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 Mega Cred or whatever. But he doesn't have Jelly Mango Supreme. It's just like...
the Waffle House jelly donut or whatever.
Waffle House starts cheering. Everybody clapped at the
because at the end of the day, it's still their fad.
It's kind of like the episode where Wendy was railing against all these kids using Facetune and all this Photoshop on their bodies. Yet at the very end of the episode, what does she do?
Crying and doing it to herself.
She goes to the computer lab and edits up a photo of herself, and you see this one single tear just roll down her face. Bam! Into the episode. And it's just like, no, fuck you guys. You're a comedy show. You're not supposed to make me feel bad for this fucking computer generated paper character. Fuck you.
You're really gonna hate fucking Futurama.
I finally watched that whole series.
How many times are the sad episodes showing up? About 2 in a season, last I counted. You know, they put the Seymour episode as like the 10th saddest episode.
No.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
No fucking way.
We'll have to do our own episode of the new season of Futurama, but it didn't hit me.
I haven't watched the new season.
Not a lot of episodes hit me in the feels.
Yeah, I think that the new season definitely was one of the lower points.
It was good. I think the first episode was the best one.
Mm-hmm. Because it poked fun at corporate revivals of old shows, and that was very funny.
Like, honestly, what was it, like maybe a 30-minute episode?
Yeah.
If they had extended that plot and made it like a 45-minute or hour-long special, I think that would have been cooler.
Like a double feature pilot.
Yeah.
But then they had one that was all about crypto, and it's like after the whole craze. You know what I'm saying? Like well after.
However, I feel like the way they did that episode was still timely because they were using the idea of a crypto western. And so it's like, with the way they were going about it, I feel like that the one mess up they did is they were using actual Bitcoin names. Mm-hmm. They were using like Doge and SHIB and Bit and shit like that. I think they could have used their own new names.
Endercoin.
And that would have been funnier. But now it's the implication that 2,000 years later, Bitcoin is still a thing. It's like, no, name it its own thing. Because there's going to be multiple names if anything like that even still exists by that point. Although history repeats itself, so who knows, maybe it's a revival. But that's an episode for another time, and I think you ended the recap of that Simpsons, South Park episode rather well there, Chris.
Of course I did.
But this has been a nice episode, and return episode of the Couch Potatoes, probably the last one of the year, but never fear, hopefully come 2024, we'll have some new stuff. To kick off 2024, we're going to have some new pint glasses available with all the network logos on it, so there'll be a something good for you one. There'll be a Couch Potatoes, and if you guys are lucky, I'll even make this fucking guy and maybe a Cryptic Conspiracy Cult one. I just have to work on the Cryptic Conspiracy Cult one because that logo does not work on a lot of different things, so I'm going to have to play with that some.
just do the lettering only.
That's what I'm talking about. The lettering by itself just doesn't look right. It looks very empty. So I might play around with that some.
Start with the history we forgot one first. See what happens.
That's even more basic.
Just yellow lettering.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's boring.
The WWF could do it. You could do it.
No, that's a better logo than what I came up with.
I had a glass. It was a WWF glass, and on one side it was painted. There's 3 major wrestlers on each side. One was Junkyard Dog, Roddy Ryder Piper, and Mad Russian, and the other one was Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and I forget the Sting. And it was just like, that's a cool fucking glass. I don't care if you don't like wrestling, but like those guys were the iconic wrestlers of their time. And I was just like, it's all like hand drawn on a fucking glass. I'm like,
awesome.
Everybody had one of these in their house in like the early 90s.
Well, Chris, you got any last minute things for us?
Happy Kwanzaa, everybody! I hope everyone has a happy New Year, and I really hope you guys enjoy the new shows coming. We're taking recommendations from the fucking Discord. Christy reads it more than I do, so the history podcast is going to be stacked with a lot of requests. We're going to be bringing on a third person every now and then.
Nice.
Who's willing to drive up to our neck of the woods. Because it's always fun with a third.
Oh, yeah.
And Robert, thank you for joining us on this episode.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
You might show up on another episode sooner or later. Hopefully
Absolutely. And for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex. Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
I said Happy Kwanzaa, goddammit!
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.